Give them bread and circuses, and they will never revolt. Juvenal. This quote works on so many levels, from the economy to entertainment to sports. Believe it or not, the Roman gladiator games were their version of content. Even today, sports are only worth the content they create, no less than a reality TV show like The Survivor or The Apprentice. What does it take to buy, run, and sell a trophy asset like a sports team that creates unscripted content almost daily? We know it's a lot of money, but how much? Let's see what a sports team is worth.
Hi, I'm Bharat Kanodia. I have valued over 2,000 businesses, including tech companies like Uber and Airbnb, and unique assets like the Alaskan Pipeline and the Battery Tunnel in New York. I tell owners what their business is worth.
There are over 150 sports franchises spread over 5 major leagues across 52 cities in America. NFL being the most coveted of them all at $16 billion in revenue, and the Cowboys at its helm as the most valuable franchise. My colleague Mike Shapiro, who is the president of the Pioneer Baseball League and has worked with the Atlanta Braves, Baltimore Orioles, and the San Francisco Giants, will share his thoughts on the latest with sports team ownership. All you, Mike.
Thanks, Bharat. I want to talk about sports franchise valuation and acquisition strategies. The marketplace for sports teams is all over the place right now, in large part because, at least in baseball, the industry has been turned upside down by Major League Baseball's decision to change the relationship between the minor league clubs and the major league clubs. On the major league level, franchises have never been more valuable. In fact, it is harder and harder to acquire major league clubs because those valuations keep increasing to the extent that there are fewer and fewer buyers available. And the entire industry is based on supply and demand. At the minor league level, however, bargains can be found. And we're finding that the marketplace is fairly robust. Folks are seeing that there are good deals to be had in some of the really choice markets that either have been abandoned by MLB in the relegation process, or that are newfound leagues as independent leagues. And so the buy-in for a minor league team that had been affiliated, for example, was probably starting in the $6 to $8 million range. And as you got up into higher levels, it would go to the $20, $30 million range. Now, for leagues that were affiliated and have now gone independent, you're in the $3, $4 million range. So while you lose affiliation status, perhaps, the value of a franchise at a much lower cost means there's some really good deals to be had, particularly at the minor league level. In other sports, I would say that the growth of opportunities to get in at lower levels, not having to go at, for example, in the NBA, you could go to the G League level and other kind of independent leagues that are all starting up, because in large part because media values, while they're high at the major league level, at lower levels, because of streaming services and digital media, you're able to get coverage of your games while not having to get engaged in heavy production costs and rights fee deals. So we're finding in the marketplace lower level minor clubs, while again, the values may be lower and the financials are at a much lower scale, the values are much bigger. Thanks, Bharat.
Thank you, Mike. It's great to have you.
Rule of thumb. Tell me if you've heard this before. What takes days to gain in flexibility takes weeks in strength. and months in endurance. What I'm about to share is less of a rule and more of a guideline that will help you estimate the value of your favorite sports team.
Sports teams are valued on revenue, anywhere between 2 to 6x. Revenue includes ticket sales, media, stadium, merchandise, and any national revenue from the league if it's a franchise. So the next time you want to estimate the value of your favorite sports team, first Google their revenue, and then multiply it by 2, and then by 6. That'll give you a good range of what your favorite team is worth. The spread between 2 and 6 depends on 4 factors.
1. Market. Size does matter. If a sports team is located in a small city like Milwaukee with a population of 1.5 million versus, say, Houston with a population of 7 million, it is much more difficult to get people to move to Milwaukee than to create more fans in Houston.
2. The economy. Only a strong economy can create higher asset values and sustainably good returns for savers. Ben Bernanke. The better the economy, the more billionaires there are to buy sports teams with their recent market gains.
3. Community. Contrary to popular belief, management and performance has little to do with the team's valuation. What makes the biggest difference is how deep is the team rooted in the local community. Are the players involved in local charities? Does the stadium host local school events? Are people buying sports jerseys for their newborns? How long is the wait list for season tickets? 4. Tax benefits. Just like any trophy asset, most teams don't make money or barely break even. So why would anyone buy a sports team? Have you noticed that most of their owners are rich? There is a reason for that. First is, of course, only the rich can write big checks. And second, only the rich need tax write-offs of such magnitude. A bleeding sports franchise is a fantastic gross tax adjustment for billionaires, making them an attractive investment.
Owning a sports team is not for the faint of heart. It's like running a Hollywood studio. The unions and the regulators are watching your every move. Talent is demanding and sometimes crazy. The audience is easily distracted, and the owners have a bottomless appetite for profits. It requires a massive investment up front and willingness to bleed money annually. It is a people business and only works if you have good people, you can attract good people, and retain good people. And if, and only if, you are able to do all these things, you may make money when you sell. Thanks for watching.